violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Major new developments in the case of two young women killed and dumped off a bridge. The GBI is talking to us about its investigation into that night.
Plus, one victim's mother is opening up to us to make sure we know the daughter she loves.
Remember that beautiful angel.
We're glad you're with us on a Friday. I'm George Estevez.
I'm Jovita Moore. Those major developments at 5 in the murder of two young women. Take a close look at your screen. This is the 1997 Toyota Corolla police are now looking for. It belonged to one of the victims.
So now we're also putting a face to these women. Friends and family gave us these pictures on your screen right now. On the left, 18-year-old Vanita Richardson. On the right, 30-year-old Clarice Trevina.
I mean, sisters are taking they're being targeted in so many of these murders. It's like the women of our community are dying at a quicker rate than the men in other communities, okay? So it's, you know, it brings more credence to what they say about sisters being the least protected.
Campbell. Police say someone dumped their bodies off a bridge in Floyd County.
Investigators found them beneath the East Rome bypass that's near Grizzard Park. Now we are hearing from the mother of one of the women. Channel 2's anchor Justin Wilfon joins us live. And Justin, you spoke with one victim's mom today.
And Jovita, she wanted to speak with us today to make sure everyone knows what exactly made her daughter so special. This is a picture of her daughter right here, and she has no idea why anyone would want to harm her.
Vanita was an angel.
The heartbreak and shock almost too much to handle for Vanita Allen. We spoke with her just 2 days after her daughter and another woman were found murdered and dumped off a bridge in Rome.
My world is gone.
A road where...
And if y'all don't know where Rome is, it's in South Georgia. You know, I used to frequent Rome, Georgia, quite a bit because I had a girl back in the day and she stayed in Rome, Georgia. I mean, it's a pretty rural town, quiet area. Things like this usually don't go down, but as you can see, you know, it's getting crazy. Not only, you know, in Georgia, but all around the country when it comes to crime.
Workers spotted the bodies of Allen's daughter, 18-year-old Vanita Richardson, and 30-year-old Clarice Trevina Campbell underneath the Etowah Bridge. He told 911 both had bags covering their heads.
I can't believe what they did to my baby. She wouldn't hurt anyone.
The GBI will not say how the women were killed, but did tell us they're looking for Richardson's missing car, like this one, a 1997 gold Toyota Corolla with Georgia plate RTJ 6295.
And we have information in our investigation that vehicle could possibly be in the metro Atlanta area.
Richardson's mother told us her daughter and Campbell were close friends, almost like stepsisters.
Okay, so I just want to halt that. When they spoke about the vehicle, they said it could be in the metro Atlanta area. So that means this guy drove about 2 to 3 hours to flee the scene. Okay, so his area of origin, I'm not sure of, but this was a thought out situation here, and it's super unfortunate that sisters are taking the brunt of, you know, the loss of life when it comes to this what I'll call it is a crime spree that has swept the country within the last year and a half or two because of these the pandemic situation combined with the George Floyd and the defund the police movements. All of these things have affected the whole country, not just one area, and it's emboldened criminals, and it's made it so that they feel justified in doing some of these heinous acts. Okay, so you guys got to understand that this wasn't just a spur of the moment type thing. It looks like this guy, planned it out.
Richardson was set to graduate from Armuchee High School in Floyd County next Saturday with dreams of becoming a photographer.
Remember her for the beauty that she looks like. Remember that beautiful smile.
She last saw her daughter Tuesday night when Vanita told her she was going out, a memory that will now haunt her for the rest of her life.
He pulled out of the yard, and I said, you make it back here tonight.
And we also talked with the GBI today about whether those women may have known their killer. That part of the story coming up on Channel 2 Action News at 6. For now, reporting live, Justin Wilfon, Channel 2 Action News.
Just devastating, Justin. We want to go ahead and show you this picture. This is the car similar to the one owned by Vanita Richardson. Authorities are searching for a 1997 gold Toyota Corolla with license plate 4TJ6295.
It's RTJ, not 42J, 4TJ. RTJ6295, but
Go to WSB's news app or even WSBTV.com to share the picture and also share the story.
Jesus, I'm doing the news job.
Tonight, a major development in the killing of two sisters in Rome. 3 men are now charged with murdering them. So back in May, the bodies of the 19-year-old and 31-year-old were found tossed from a bridge with bags over their heads. John Sherrick is on the story for us tonight with the very latest on the investigation, live from the headquarters of GBI in DeKalb County.
So, as you can see, this happened in May, guys. And they're just now finding the killers. I mean, these dudes been eating for a minute.
And Aisha, the GBI says the investigation's not over yet. More arrests are likely in addition to the 3 men who are now in jail. Investigators gathered in Rome to announce the 3 arrests. 3 men accused of murdering sisters Vanita Richardson.
Hold on. They flashed their faces way too quick.
Investigators gathered in Rome to announce the 3 arrests. 3 men.
So, y'all get a good look at them. Get a good look at them. Buddy right here didn't even want to look in the camera.
Accused of murder.
I mean, they honestly, they just look like dusty ass dudes from the South, you know, not really any crazy indicators that I can look at. Maybe this guy with the neck tattoo, it looks like he might have a face tattoo. But the other guys, you know, honestly, this guy looks like the most clean cut. So it would be hard to kind of, on a whim, just identify that, oh, these dudes is about that. This dude, I don't even know. He looked like he worked at like a flea market or something.
Accused of murdering sisters Vanita Richardson and Truvenia Campbell in May and tossing the women from a bridge to the banks of the Etowah River below.
This has been a hideous crime in our city.
Rome Police Chief Denise Downer-McKinney and GBI investigators say each of the men is facing several charges in addition to murder. 28-year-old Desmond Levanta Brown, 36-year-old Devin LaShawn Watts, and 23-year-old Christopher Ledarius.
Hold on. If you look closely at this guy's tattoo, it appears that is the RX or the Rockstar or R-Star tattoo that, if you guys don't know about Rockstar or you play any video games, they're a video game company and they produced the game Grand Theft Auto. They also produced the game The Bully. You know, they produce games like that. It looks like he got that tattoo on his face. So just look closely. Yeah, I mean, so that would definitely to me be an indicator that he's on demon time. Also Devin Watts, this guy with the chapped lips. Now Desmond Brown, honestly, you know, I wouldn't, nothing unless he had other tattoos that identify that he would be on demon time. You know, I wouldn't be able to say anything for that. But buddy right here, Devin Watts, definitely the chapped lips and the scruffy beard throw me off. And then buddy right here, the neck tattoos and then the Rockstar tattoo under his eye shows me that he is an avid player of the Grand Theft Auto video games. And, you know, he could potentially set it off. He's about that. He's on demon time.
Pullen, the sisters' bodies discovered under the bridge May 13th. GBI Special Agent in Charge Joe Montgomery telling us then.
They had bags over their head at the time. They'd obviously been dropped from the bridge.
And Vanita's car, like this one, was missing. Investigators now say they found the car. It was in the city of South Fulton. The sisters' extended families.
So these dudes went to Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's where they fled. So these dudes were walking the streets of Atlanta. And this is what a lot of dudes do. They commit these heinous crimes in these small rural towns, and then they go to Atlanta where they can kind of blend in with all the other brothers. You know what I mean?
The sisters' extended families and friends grieving, unable to understand who would hurt them or why. Vanita just about to graduate from Armurchie High School, friends calling her fun-loving, humble, excited about her future. Vanita and Truvenia as close as twins, always together. Truvenia had had epilepsy since infancy, and Vanita watched out for her. Then, the night of May 12th, they went out in Vanita's car. Their bodies found the next morning. Investigators not disclosing if the sisters and the suspects knew each other, or what led up to the homicides, or what the motive was.
Man, this had to be some gang type of initiation, something like that.
And GBI Director Vic Reynolds says this is an exhaustive investigation involving more than 130 court orders and search warrants, leading investigators to the 3 men now in jail. And again, the GBI says more arrests are likely.
All right, John, thank you. Hopefully this gives that family some peace tonight.
According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the U.S. I was one of them. Last year, Chastity Wright became one as well after being held hostage and shot 4 times. Now she's sharing her story of this often hidden crime. We have a warning. This story contains graphic content.
And I ain't even gonna lie, man. There are so many women who say that they have been, a victim of domestic violence. And a lot of times, especially in the red vitamin community, we kind of throw that off and be like, oh, well, how did this happen? Did you file a police report? This, that, and third. And I will say, man, a lot of these women do not have time to file police reports because their men who they're dealing with are on demon time. Now, what I would want to express is for some of the women, because obviously, all of the women are not going to be able to see the signs, but preferably some of the women would take into account some of these signs that their guy is on demon time, whether he's heavily involved in the streets, he's speaking about different things that he would do. You see outbursts of anger, physical violence, hitting walls. All these types of things can lead to domestic violence.
It's said a picture is worth 1,000 words. This engagement photo of Chastity Wright and her former fiancé shows happiness. What it doesn't show is the sad day ahead for them.
Well, we had known each other since high school, and like I said, he did do 12 years in prison, and I believe the remaining...
Come on, sis. Come on, sis. 12 years in prison and you dealing with this man? Come on, sis. Like, this is what we say when sisters are attracted to thug dudes. Oh no, he's changed. He's turned his life around. The recidivism rate is 85%, meaning that 85% of the people who exit a prison cell after doing their sentence will re-offend. Like, sis, we gotta start looking at numbers. We gotta start looking at data. We have to start being aware of these situations and the men that our family members are dealing with and these women are dealing with.
Of his last 2, he reached out to me on Facebook and we started talking from there.
So this is a prison love fairy tale. This is a prison love fairy tale. He reached out to her on Facebook, which is, how are you even having access to the internet in prison? His last 2 years, and pulled her.
And I would go see him in prison on visitation days sometime.
He served time for armed robbery and seemed to have turned his life around.
I'm sorry to stop it so many times, but some of these sisters got to move with some common sense.
He became the man of her dreams.
The proposal was very unexpected, but I was happy in the relationship. He didn't give any bad vibes to me.
He didn't give any bad vibes. I mean, understanding that he was in prison for 12 years. 12 years is not a short time. 12 years for armed robbery. And you know, a lot of these guys in prison, they're still having intercourse. They still fucking, you know what I mean? They still doing it. Okay?
Suddenly, he created a nightmare. She says May 6th, 2020 started normally, but after a seemingly peaceful talk in their bedroom and the removal of her engagement ring, things changed.
I guess by me taking mine off, that triggered something with him. I don't know, maybe he thought that I didn't want to be with him anymore. I don't know, but I just told him we'll talk when he get back, and I'll see him when he get back from orientation.
He left, but not for orientation. Instead, he got a gun.
He just was standing in the doorway, and we were kind of close range, face to face, and he just had his hands behind his back and pulled it out and shot me in the leg.
Wow, this woman is lucky to be alive.
And my daughter was standing right here in the living room. All of this happened here at my home where we are now. And she heard it, and she ran in the bedroom, and she was like, "Oh my God, Mama!" And she turned around and ran back down the hallway. And
then when I was running out, he grabbed my shirt really hard. I felt the shirt like tugging on my neck and stuff, and I looked back and I seen the tip of the gun. That's why I got scared, started screaming even louder, because I thought this might be my last day. I was like, especially how close it is from my neck into my head.
Man, chilling story. My thing is, for one, Mama, Miss Wright, I gotta talk to you, baby. I gotta talk to you. Why are you bringing a man who did 12 years in prison to be in the home with your young daughter? I mean, a lot of our sisters are endangering their children by the men that they're attracted to. You know, I got to keep it fair on this channel, and it's not right what this man did. It's not at all. But I'm sure this woman could have got a man who was doing the right thing. I'm sure she could have found a man who didn't do 12 years in prison, who wasn't 12 years a slave. It's crazy.
So then I was able to get away, and I just ran across the street as fast as I could. And I looked back, and he was just staring and looking at me.
Chastity's then 11-year-old daughter Armani made it across the driveway to her aunt's home and called 911. However, part of her shirt and her mother's life were in his hands.
Then he came back and ran in the bedroom where I was, and I was just like, oh my God, like, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? And he said, you made me do that.
Soon,
y'all heard what he said. You made me do that. These dudes, they take no accountability. They take no ownership for their actions. Everything is an offense towards them. If they do something to somebody, oh, that person made them do that. This is the street mentality. This is the street mentality. This is a lot of brothers' mentality. The entitlement, the unaccountability, the hood mindset. All of these things are intertwined. The culture has made this type of behavior acceptable.
Several law enforcement agencies and the Aiken County Sheriff's Office SWAT team arrived outside. Meanwhile, inside the apartment, things went from bad to worse.
He shot me in my stomach, my chest, and I was grazed on the top of my head in the doorway. We were in the living room at that time.
Her body riddled with gunshots. The next 2 hours would begin the toughest battle to save her own life.
Fell down to the ground after those 3 shots, and we were just in here for a very long time while they were trying to get us out. They were using flashbangs and tear gas and things like that. So I had started to burn inside. My body was burning. I was cramping up and shortness of breath. He told me when they came in to get me, he was gonna kill himself. And he said he wasn't going back to prison.
While talking,
I told y'all about these dudes' mindset. When they fire off with the police and all this stuff, they do this because they know they're in the wrong. They know they committed a crime that is going to give them serious jail time, but they don't want to go back to prison. So they endanger the lives of everybody else around them because I ain't going back to jail, man. Shit, they'll have to do this and do that to me to make me go back in jail. I've heard this so many times from dudes that I went to high school with, hood dudes that I, used to hang around, whatever. This is the mentality. This is the mentality of a lot of these brothers, man. I'm telling you.
Windows started shattering with rounds of tear gas being tossed inside to force the suspect out. The last round filled the room with smoke and filled Chastity with determination.
It landed directly in front of me when they threw it in, and it was just, I couldn't already breathe, and inhaling that smoke and the gas, it was unbearable. And I just got up off the floor and ran out my back door. And God gave me the strength, and my mom's spirit was here with me. And so when I ran out, they told me to put my hands up and get on the ground, and that's when I collapsed forward, and I fell face down, and they came running over to me and dragged me across the road.
As she was rushed to the hospital, her fiancé's standoff with police continued. While inside, he shot himself and used his own blood to write final words to Chastity above their bed. He also used her phone to snap pictures of himself in a mirror. Then he took his own life.
What a fatal attraction, man. Oh my God. And I do believe in second chances. 12 years is a long time in prison, and they talk about being institutionalized. It's hard to re-socialize these men who go into prison at a young age, probably been in and out their whole lives, back into society. And this is the type of stuff that they do, man.
Chastity spent several days in the ICU. Since then, her gunshot wounds have healed. Her smile quickly returned. Chastity has now created a new picture of happiness and peace. This one is due to faith, family, and forgiveness.
Yo, and she's gonna, I don't want to put anything on her, but she's gonna men ain't shit to her daughter for the rest of, her daughter is not gonna be able to hear the end of it. Don't be dealing with these men, Don't be dealing, no, don't deal with guys who did 12 years in prison. How about that?
6 months after I was shot, I did forgive him for what he did.
Oh, Lord, not the forgiveness. And they say forgiveness is not for the other person, but it's for yourself. And I do believe that. But 6 months, that's how you know she was stigmatized, bruh.
To me and my daughter, because God forgives, and he will want me to forgive him.
Chastity says Armani is her hero for risking her life to run and call 911. Now, if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, there are helpful resources locally. Contact Safe Homes Domestic Violence Center or the Cumbie Center to assist abused persons. For more information and to see Chastity's story again, go to our website, wjbf.com.
Hello, my name is Natalie Ammons. I'm the Deputy Director for Public and Governmental Affairs with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Standing with me here this afternoon is Alamo Police Chief Karen Zanders and GBI Special Agent in Charge Lindsay Wilkes of our Eastman office. Also with us is Sheriff Larry Dean from Lawrence County, Sheriff Randy Rigdon from Wheeler County, and Commander of the Oconee Drug Task Force, Trey Williams. Early this morning around 1 a.m., Officer Dylan Harrison was shot and killed outside the Alamo Police Department. Officer Harrison was 26 years old, of Dudley, Georgia, and leaves behind a wife and a 6-month-old baby. Officer Harrison was a part-time...
So guys, if you can't tell, a police officer was taken out by a brother, unfortunately. You know, he leaves behind a wife and I believe a kid. So this is the GBI explaining the situation.
I'm Alamo police officer working his first shift with the department last night. He was also a full-time Oconee Drug Task Force agent out of Eastman, Georgia. He has been in law enforcement since 2018. Officer Harrison will be taken to the GBI crime lab for autopsy indicator. A blue alert has been issued for Damian Anthony Ferguson, age 43, of Alamo, Georgia. A blue alert is a public safety alert that is issued when a suspect has killed or seriously injured an officer and has not been apprehended, and that may be a serious threat to the public. There are many ways that tips can be submitted to the GBI. You can submit tips anonymously by calling 1-800-597-TIPS or 8477 at the GBI website at www.gbi.georgia.gov and clicking on online tip form, or by downloading the See Something, Send Something mobile app. Search CSEE Send, SEND on Apple or Android devices. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Ferguson or with any information that you think may be pertinent to this investigation should contact us at one of those many different ways. A reward is being offered with information leading to the arrest of Ferguson, and there are a lot of agencies that are assisting with this investigation. So I'm going to have Special Agent in Charge Lindsay Wilkes come up and discuss that.
So they're going to speak more about the investigation. I'm going to show you the brother who did this, just in case y'all see him moving around. They got a $17,000 reward for his capture. Honestly, he looked like my barber. I ain't gonna lie. He looked like my old barber. Hey man, steer clear, cause this dude is obviously on demon time. I don't know what brought him to do this, but I guess we'll figure out more. I'm gonna stay on top of this story for you guys, but you already know what it is, man. It's the Black Gen Z mindset. Till next time, peace.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.